All right, we back.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Hmm.
for the community to really understand what these people are trying to mimic, there's a time period in the early 80s, in the late 70s, and the early 80s when a lot of these things was brought to the forefront. And these systems were created out of a bunch of codes that they tried to string together to create a certain system created out of a bunch of loopholes, if you can understand what I'm saying. Those loopholes were closed at the end of the 80s. People were selling this information that they had got late in the game, trying to make a profit and selling it to people because at one point it was working, but it was a part of a bigger program. They had people in churches, reverends in the black community churches who were setting up meetings and teaching people these processes. But those processes stopped when administrations changed because the rules changed. These things do not work, nor will they work, and they create laws to prevent you from trying to use these things. You will get yourself jammed up and you will not be able to wiggle out. These people are trying to sell you truth mixed with lies in order to scam you, take your money. I don't care if somebody sound fancy, they wrote a book, they wrote an essay, they wrote a paper. I can copy and paste and change a few words to make it sound good. Anybody can do it. We got to stop falling for what sound good and just get the work done.
Yeah.
Everybody looking for an easy way out and trying to prosper. Because when Jonah Bey was teaching it, right, he was teaching people about the account, right, the trust account, and he was trying to tell people about all this money that's in this trust account, right? And this is what drew people in because they thought that they was going to have all this money and be able to do all these things without having to spend any money, paying their bills, and all of this and that. Okay, at one point that worked, but it wasn't a widespread thing. It was a in the know type of situation. Right now, he was selling all these things to people, and I got right along with a lot of other people. He got me for a nice amount of money, and he from right here in Georgia, but now he on the run. So what does that tell you? If the teacher on the run, what the students teaching you?
Oh, the teacher on the run?
Oh, the teacher's on the run. Oh, he's on the run.
I think the last I heard, he was hiding out in Florida. Did I say that?
Hey, oh no, they the court went to that. They court went to that. He had to move. So like it's just like I'm in cryptocurrency, right? And people lose money because they late to the game. They getting information at the end when it's already over. They already missed the run. See what I'm saying? So it's like somebody coming to you, telling you, sign up for my Patreon channel, and I'm gonna give you these winning picks. You sign up for the Patreon channel, they charge you $150, but then by the time you go and use the channel and take the information, they done already dumped the coin. You stuck with a bag and you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
You see how that works? That's what they do. And that's what they doing. But yeah, like I said, I do got a plan, and anybody who's interested in getting into crypto, let me know. We can put something together. I can break it down to you and show you how to get this money. Easy, simple. I'm up 210% today.
There you have it. What's that?
That's what I got to offer.
Right, I was about to say, throw your email in the chat, Jay.
Bro.
You know you
All right. I'm telling you, these folks is getting rich. While we sit around and talk about what's a scam, they sit around and get rich laughing.
Yeah, because they don't tell you that it's leading up all to all that. That stuff
Mm-mm.
is scam.
I'm gonna tell you.
Bones has said it. The Antitrust Act. People don't tell you that they may it, and I've said it before, and I mean this because this is what happens. whatever your situation is, that's what they present you with. They're not going to present you with the same thing every time. No, they're going to
Mm-mm,
present it
mm-mm.
where it's unique to your situation and then lead you up to the fraudulent the
That,
fraudulent stuff with the IRS and the fraudulent stuff with your state and with your city and with your county. They're going to lead you up to that. But they're going to start off with,
mm-hmm.
oh, you got a problem with your house? Oh, you got a problem with your taxes? Oh, you got a problem with this?
Yep,
Well, all you need to do is
exactly.
this. Well, all you need to do is this. It's just as simple as this. If it's so simple, why is my situation getting worse? Um, trust what?
Now,
What?
can I say this? There is some fishy going on, and it's been going on. Now, I have found some information to some data mining facilities who are doing things with people's social security numbers. And this is the truth. This is the honest to God truth. I don't know what we can do about it, what anybody can do about it, but I know it's there and I know it exists. Because I got over $6 million worth of asset as my name, and I ain't got none of that money.
Well, this is what I'll say. Okay,
But I
this is
don't even
what
want
I'll
to deal
say.
with it. Like,
This
I
is
don't
what
want
I'll
to
say.
bother with it.
When you deal with these people and they get your information,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna just put it out there. I had to file identity theft, and I'm saying this
Mm-hmm.
because when
Right.
they get your information, you have no idea. Because one of the
But,
things that they tell you, one of the things that's in their little starter kit and their little
mm-hmm.
packet and their little PDF packet for $39.99 or whatever fee they want to put behind it is to literally take this overseas, authenticate the birth certificate and all that. So
Uh-huh.
what happens
Yep.
when you
Get you.
relinquish
You got to
when
get
you
you a non-Hague country. You're supposed to go to a non-Hague country and start and get an address for that non-Hague country. Man, they got the whole thing. They only charge 39.99. Listen, Jonah Baker's charging 1,500.
shout out to A2, shout out to Bones, shout out to Doodoo. I'm gonna tell you what I learned, and
Ooh.
I was able to solidify this through state, Secretary of State, and all government agencies. Everything they've ever said has been honest. Everything they've ever said has been able to be backed. I've been able to ask the right questions to get the answer. Everything they've said has been backed by truth. That's what you can take to the bank. Put that in your little memory bank right there. Literally, when you take your birth certificate and you authenticate it and you are a US citizen, you are an American. When you take your information and ship it somewhere else and say, "Oh, I'm going to relinquish this. I'm going to cut my freedom." Where you think that information going? You just gave up something. Who gonna snatch it up?
I mean, at some point though, this is the second year we've been having this conversation talking about this topic. I mean, if folks are still I'm not talking about you because you wasn't in those conversations, those early conversations, right? But it's a lot of people that's entertaining these things that were in those conversations, in those back chats on Google, on Google Hangouts,
And that's where I have a problem with when there's people in the community that know what's
they know
going
better.
on. And
I broke all of it down.
And watch people get hurt. That's where I have the issue.
When TMH was on, I told me and TMH sitting there, and I said it. I said, listen, but if you try to use this stuff, they are going to jam you up. It don't work. This is old information. This information is really old. I can't even exactly, I ain't going to say the date because I'm not 100% sure if I'm correct, but this is old.
No, we need to research. It goes back to the late 1800s. Yeah, we went all the way back. We tracked it all the way back.
Right.
And like I said, they're trying to sell you some old information. That stuff's been closed up. They're on a whole different system right now. We are going through a change right now. While people sitting around arguing, thinking, and going back and forth, the world is changing around us. Right? Everything's going digital. Visa, Deutsche Bank, all these banks is now going digital. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. Everything's going crypto. They're making all of these collaborations and all of these deals with all these companies. Everything in your life about to be on what they call the blockchain. All of these companies and governments are making all of these deals while we ain't paying attention to nothing that's going on around us. They're setting up the infrastructure as we speak. Exactly. And if you don't know what's going on, you're going to be stuck in the background trying to catch up. Your life might be worse than it already is.
That's why I always say it right now is the best time to organize yourself and put yourself in position, because it's going to restart. And if you're not lined up and in position when it restarts, it's like how Jay said before. You're going to be trying to catch up when everybody else has invested in.
I'm trying to tell you, and Bones, I've been telling you this since everybody was on Tribe Up. I've been saying crypto. Y'all better get in. Mm-hmm. I told I was trying to tell folks, like, listen.
But that lets you know how long this useless argument been going on.
A long time, man.
Ideologies that have been proven not to work. Then people want to show up, name call. You stole this, you took that. No proof, no evidence. Broken ideologies. Then get mad. But this is real life. This is not a game. Ain't no be continues.
They run around playing like it's a game. And I'm telling you, the Joker's going to be sick. They're going to be really sick. First of all, in this next 6 to 8 months, you're going to be paying attention to your bank accounts because they get ready to start initiating bail-ins if this economy gets any worse. And that's what they're talking about in the business news. Now, a bail-in is similar to a bail-out, except they're going to bail them out with your funds in your bank account. Everything that's been going on in all these other countries around the world, and we ain't been looking at, paying them no attention, is now about to hit America. Because now we at where they was at 3 years ago. We just now getting there economically. And this is what they playing is. Japan did it. The European Union did it. Asia did it. Now it's America's turn.
But guess who ain't hurting? Communities that can produce for themselves.
I'm teaching my daughter.
Hello.
This her first year in private school, right? She go to a black private school. And when they start the year, within a couple of days, she has to start working on a business plan. They have to start a business within the first 3 months of school. And they had to run that business and be graded on that by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Teaching them.
Her whole school system is working off of a system they call a STEM system. Again, we're late. This is old. They've been doing it in their white private schools, but now we just now catching on, and it's working. They got this one girl who just got $190,000 in grant money before she even started school for her business idea.
And we was having this discussion the other night, how easy it is for us to start our own online school. It's simple as we're having the same technology that we're having this conversation with.
Yep.
It's a school.
Yep. And the system that you got to teach on is the STEM system, because it cuts out all of the fat, all of the book BS, and take all that away. And it only gives specific subjects, and in them subjects, it only gets to the meat.
Yeah, specific.
Cut off all that other crap. Right? And then build on that.
But that's what I tell people who talk about government but don't know how it works, never been in close proximity to anybody in local government, never spoke to anyone that was actively in there, but want to tell you how it works. We have the ability to do this for our children. We just have to do it.
I think, I was having a conversation with my great aunt,
Mm-hmm.
She 103. And we was talking about my great-great-grandfather, and him donating him donating the land for the first agricultural school in America. Was in Pennsylvania.
Tell him one more time, Jay. One more time. Give him that
He
good
donated
piece of history.
the land for the first agricultural school in America. My great grandfather's name was John Trowery. Trory. Oh, WRY. Trowry. John Trowery. Sometimes it's spelled REY. But she said the only way that we're going to be able to be safe is if we start buying land and creating our own community. That's what they did, and that's what we're going to need to do in this climate that we're in. This is coming from a lady that's 103 years old. She's been there and done it. And if they could do it then, there's no reason why we can't do it now. Because most of that side of my family is living on their own land right now. And half of them don't even know it. And it's in the family's name.
Mm-mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's why they're still there, because they own that land. And when I bring up stuff in the past about buying land, people talk like I'm crazy why I got to buy land, because you lost the fight, motherfucker. I'm sorry for cussing, because you lost the fight. So now the only thing you got to do is build a foundation for you to get back on your feet. And you can't do that by sitting around talking about what should be, what's supposed to be, what's right and what's not right. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Stand the hell up on your feet and start to move. But all of this talking about this and that and doing all this extra stuff, you wasting time. There's a lot of folks just running around here wasting time and chasing the reputation, trying to build up these reputations, these online personalities, all this crap. It's in the way. A lot of these dudes are animated, they're in the way. Their information is mediocre at best. It's mediocre at best. Like, listen, these folks is really, they don't understand none of the stuff they talking about. They regurgitating stuff, and a lot of stuff I see where it's coming from. I see the channels that they're going to, and these people from these other countries is giving out this information. And these folks is coming back, going to get that information, coming back and regurgitating it to us. Talking about, look what I found, look what I researched and found. You ain't reading no books. How you researching?
But I don't understand how people call themselves researchers, but you don't cross-reference your source information. You can't read one book.
Bones, do you remember when we were talking about books? We had a back chat one time. I don't know if you're going to remember. We had a back chat one time. We were talking about books, and somebody asked me where am I getting my information from. This is when, now get this, this is the time when I said that the Civil War was started because white folks was enslaved in the North and they was running to the South, getting free from our people in the South. Right? And everybody said I was crazy. Then I gave them a book. I said, okay, pull this book up. I don't know if you can download it because you got to buy it. And they want a lot of money for it. So they looked up the book. It's called The Forgotten Causes of the Civil War. And I said, in that book, they got the footnotes. When I said the footnotes, nobody understood most people didn't understand what I was talking about. Like 2 or 3 people came up and said something and understood what I was talking about. But if you're a researcher and you don't know what footnotes are and you're not getting information from footnotes, you're not researching.
Facts.
You cannot go in front of any college professor, and talk about anything and not bring up the footnotes, because he want to know where the person that you got it from.
And where they got it from.
You follow that chain. There you go. And then you follow that chain.
Since been
you follow that chain. It's called a chain of narration.
Exactly. And you're not supposed to come out with your discovery until you follow the complete chain. And if
chain of narration
chain is broken, then it's flawed.
It's weak.
But their research is that.
Listen, the same thing is done in genealogy, man.
Exactly. Same.
Same way
No,
genealogy is done. I tell you, I've been doing this a long time because I started off doing this thing when I was practicing Islam, and then in Islam they teach you when you do research your family, if one link in that chain is broken, your family line is weak. They say daif, weak. I've been doing research since I was 16 years old. But the only thing we have to do is we have to be prepared to walk away from our comfortability and build new comfortability. The hardest part about establishing ourselves and having a rock solid foundation is that people are going to have to be willing to move amongst each other. That is the only way that we're going to really be able to build. If you look at all of the cities that had these places like Tulsa, this is what they did. We had in Pennsylvania too, 52nd Street was a long block like Memorial Drive Bones. And it was black owned. The city came and shut it down. Right? Because they were making too much money. This is the only way we're going to be able to prosper, be safe, and have stability and be able to do for ourselves. If we can accomplish that, then we can be all right and we can rise above everybody else.
By doing for our communities, go back to producing.
Folks is not going to want to build communities. Because we in communities now, we comfortable with people that we live around because we know them. But their mindset don't fit ours. Right? Like their values, all of their values ain't the same as ours. That's why they out there marching and we not. You follow me? Why we have to be able to live around each other. You have to be willing to pick up and move and build a community. The whole continent is ours. The whole North America is ours, right?
Why fall in love with one area?
Right, but one place. Why would you don't have to do that. The whole shit is my turf. So if I want to move from here to Virginia, that's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm
if it means
from
that we can build communities. Well, we can build communities with our children. Why not?
I came to Atlanta not knowing anybody, with having family here that I didn't know, and I still don't know. And I'm doing 3 times better than I ever was in Pennsylvania legally. You follow me? So I picked up, I changed my whole life around, and I'm doing 3 times better away from what I knew today. And I can sleep at night. You have to be able to move around when you need to and be around people that have like minds and like morals as you do.
Shout out to the No Grandma Killer store. Proof is not a problem. But that's really what that's about. Moving amongst each other, building relationships. So as we formulate these companies and institutions, we can also set up business relationships for our communities. It's a start. I'm looking at
how to build 3D printers. Like, I don't be online like that no more. That's why people really don't see me. It's sporadic. I pop up and pop out. You know what I'm saying? But we have to be manufacturing. That's another thing that I've learned from my family members. They were producers, right? So they produced something and sold it. They wasn't consumers or resellers. They grew food and sold it. You know what I'm saying? They grew things that made other things, then they sold it. We got to get to that point. That's where our planning got to be going, facing towards producing something. If you people my wife always we talk about the rappers and this and who she got respect for. I don't really have I have respect for a few, but I really don't have respect for none, because they present themselves as so business savvy and smart, but you go and start a company that relies on another country's manufacturing to run your business. Even in the
Mhm.
street, I was smarter than that. If I'm going to do this, okay, I don't need to be dealing with a middleman. I need to go to the source, right? And now I want to be the source. That's the only way I can get up or get it, get come all the way up. Is this I'm the source. So you got
But
to
it's
be
funny how
apply
that
that
same,
to the legal side.
but it's funny, and I tell people a lot of times that a lot of us do come from that street mentality. That it's the same thing. It's just the terminology changes.
They would never want to see me in a suit and tie in that world. I would dominate it. They wouldn't be able to keep up with me. My street savvy is too strong for them. You understand what I'm like? Any of us are street savvy. That's why they respect dudes like Jay-Z when he comes to the room, right? Because his street savvy is way above them, and they know it. And they got to respect that. Because it's the same thing, but we just been doing it on a whole different level, on a smaller level. And they playing with big money. But I'm telling y'all, Obama made a statement, and I don't think people it's going to start to hit people. His last speech, he said, we about to go through a big wealth transfer. The big one, a wealth transfer bigger than the world's ever seen. We're in the middle of that process. At the end of this tunnel, it's going to be a lot of rich folks that ain't going to be rich no more. A lot of people looking up to. A lot of people looking up to right now and have been looking up to. And one of them is already on his way out. There's, what's his name, Warren Buffett. He losing companies and businesses and profits as fast as you can blink. And the writing's on the wall. All of these people are going bye-bye. And you got a whole new group of rich, extra rich people that's coming up. And don't be confused, because a lot of these dudes, more than half of them look like us. But
Trying to get in position.
You got. That's what I'm about to say. You gotta get right, because these people that's prospering now that look like us. They was there in the beginning, and they don't look. But again, they don't have the morals that we have. You feel me? They don't care about you, me, or the other people. They only care about green, and they don't sacrifice you for that green. I think that's another problem, is that we don't understand friend and foe too well. Like they say, skin folk ain't kinfolk. We don't understand that. We don't understand what a collaborator is. A collaborator is one who seems to be on your side but really is working for the other side. We're dealing with that right now, and we're in this little community that we started.
And that's the thing I'm looking at it too, is that individuals are telling you that they're not you. And people are still getting caught in the middle of it. People are telling you that they're not American Indian while they're using American Indian info. People are telling you don't do genealogy. People are trying to give you foreign paperwork. That's why I done said it this whole year. It's not even a discussion to really be had, because we're not the same. Our agendas are not the same. Our people are not the same.
And it's more apparent now than it has been since we started this.
Yeah, like I've been having this feeling for a long time, man. But my wife said that's my problem. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt too much. But I noticed that before, in the early days, when you talk about genealogy, a lot of folks didn't want to hear about that. They'll leave out the room and come back and, change the conversation and all that, and want to talk about
I remember them days.
Some goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? And try to avoid that conversation. But I've seen it back then. And ain't nothing changed. It's still the same people. That's why I just said, I ain't got no time for that, man. I'm stay out the way. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit back, drink my coffee, my morning coffee and airplane, paper plane, get my garden and laugh at them. That's all I'll be doing. It's just real goofy. And people on this side, when the A2, the people like in A2 seeing it, shouldn't even entertain that crap. That's the way you kill it.
Mm-hmm.
You keeping them alive. You doing the exact same thing we was trying to tell dudes not to do when it was Sarnetta in them. And when we stop
Yep.
paying them dudes attention, they disappear. They're feeding off of your energy, and you letting them.
Anytime you
It's
give it to
emotional
them to go
shit.
back and forth with the yelling and screaming, that's not going to resolve anything.
No,
Because you're not going to change their mind, and they're not going to change your mind.
because
And
my
all
thing
it does
is
waste time and nothing get done.
because my thing is two things. Is you if you was gonna do something, you wouldn't be talking about it. I'm from the street for real. We don't talk, we move. So that's first of all. You showing the chinks in your armor when you start doing that from the gate, from the rip. I'm a shark in the water. I smell blood. So I that's why I don't even entertain it no more. And the other thing is if there's so much about the community, then why would you waste the community's time with childish things? We don't have no time for that. We're under attack. We don't have no time for that. You know what I'm saying? If you're not helping somebody, giving somebody some information, the only thing I've ever given anybody was information. That's it. If you ask me a question, I answer your question. That's my ability. When it came up talking about the scammer programs, I broke them down to them so they could understand what it was. Then at the end of all that conversation, I said, but it'll never work. They pick and choose who they let use these things. And it ain't you. Because you ain't got enough money. And I said that 2-3 times within that whole year that we was talking about it. Did we not talk about this for a year, Bones?
Yep. But then that's when you have to realize, let people stay where they at
Yeah.
and work with the community and you build.
Yeah. Because I was falling back then until the Cab Greg Rogers show came back on, and I started coming back on with y'all a little bit. And I just faded away. I got to start making moves because I'm not hearing enough people. I'm hearing a few people talk about what we need to do, but I'm not hearing enough people talk about it. So it's a waste of my time, and I'm not gonna let you waste my time.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say those who are serious, the best thing that you can do is get active in your community. Find out what's available.
Yeah. Cause I even almost moved to Vegas. Remember that, bro?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at
I remember that, Jay.
I'm saying like
you had a foot on a plane, bro.
See, I'm saying like I'm 100%. I'm 100% with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
But when I start seeing the chinks in people's armor, I got to start backing up. Ain't nothing
Correct,
perfect, but
sir. You know,
because I'm gonna move all the way out. Like if a dude got a problem, I'm that dude that might be on the highway and not even tell you. You don't even know what's going on. I'm already on the highway. That's me.
Hey, Jay, let him tell it. You got kicked out.
Yeah.
You got kicked out of there.
But I mean, you know, it's a lot of unauthentic people running around, man, and we got to start judging these people on the things that they do.
Yeah.
What we see, not how we feel.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's what they giving.
Because a lot of me giving people the benefit of the doubt, not just putting people out there, is that I got a kind heart, man, and I got to get over that because a lot of people don't deserve that kindness, right? So I have a problem with, you know what I mean? Like, and then when somebody really do something across me, then I'm really ready to go into a different mode. So my wife is telling me like, no, you can't do that. You can't move like that because you're gonna cause yourself a real problem. And it's not gonna be even in your benefit. It's for somebody else's benefit just because I care enough to do what I do. So you know what I mean? Like I had to be real cautious about who I get in bed with because I'm gonna go 100%.
You know,
so
I'm glad you brought that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that actually winds up posing an issue. What happens when you open up and you trust someone who's supposed to help you? or you open up and trust someone is telling you the truth, or whatever the case may be, that actually puts something in you. It deposits something in you mentally, spiritually, emotionally. It deposits
I
something
already,
in you that takes
I
you
understand.
away from others, you know?
Uh-huh. But when you that problem is not it's simple, but it's not so simple. You have to master your own feelings, emotions, and be able to judge people for what you see, and not hold what somebody else did, your mistake, because you trusted that person. That was your mistake, right? So you got to be able to accept your mistakes, learn from them, and apply what you learned when you come across the next person. I've been crossed so many times in so many different ways that when somebody is talking to me and I'm looking at them, I already know what your intentions is. So I already know how this is going to go because I've been through it so many times. I've been done dirty so many times that I've developed a way to spot them out.
Right.
I see it before you even when you have conversations with people, they say certain things. These are patterns. They all using the same lines. These are patterns. I hear the same thing. I already know where it's going. So you know what I mean. In that sense, you got to get to that level before you can really be putting yourself out there. It's bad because we got to be like that, but this is the environment that we've been brought up in.
Right. Right.
So that's what I said. That's why I said the most important, the best thing we gonna be able to do is be willing to move amongst each other and create our own atmosphere and let in who we want to let in, who sits in that, and who sits in that parameter.
Right.
If you don't fit, you can't come in. I don't care how you feel.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying?
It shouldn't even be a feeling when it comes down to that because it's a community.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
It's community oriented. So if you're not of that community, why should you sit there?
Right. So, I mean, that even go, like I'll tell you, it's even family, because it's something my family, I said, hell no, they can't move around. Hell no, I don't care. I don't care if they got 1,000% of my blood in them, that they can't come over here. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, because that's the sacrifices you gotta be willing to make. Because it only take one person to take you through a loop.
We gotta set a standard, because by laxing our standards and trying to get along with everybody and trying to be liked and trying to be accepted, you lower your standards to the point to where we allow anything.
That's why a lot of this crazy. And that's you hit it right on the head. And that's why a lot of this crap that's going on now is going on. Because a lot of us know better, and we know we may not say it, but we know we shouldn't have been dealing with certain folk because we knew better. We knew it when we first got around each other, start talking. We knew something wasn't right. Tell me, Bones, you didn't feel something wasn't right. Tell me, Bones. I didn't heard it in your voice. I didn't heard it in your voice.
Because y'all know me,
because
y'all know me, see. I'm too direct, yeah. I'll switch in the conversation on you real quick. Like, wait 1 minute. What's
going on? We got Lightman on the panel. What's going on, Lightman?
Oh, that's my homie there.
Greetings, Lightman.
That's my homie there. He be incognito so much, changing his names up. Coming in, you never know when he around. You gotta hear the voice, catch the voice, and know who he is.
Yep.
He came and sat on the porch with me. If that's Lightman Z, if that's the same person.
That's the only Lightman I know.
Right? How y'all gardens doing? Everybody gardens is coming along, or what's going on?
Oh, you know that.
Anybody had to war with the caterpillars? Because I'm warring with them.
Yeah, they ate my my herbs. I got everything. They
I meant to,
literally
you,
ate my cilantro, and I was like, "What is going on?"
yeah,
Out of everything, that's what you ate.
Healing, baby, it's good for me.
man, them big sick green suckers, man, they be on my tomato plants like
Yeah,
crazy.
it was 5 of them.
Some of them cartoon
I'm
joints.
telling you.
They weren't
Yeah,
even
they,
just for. I
my,
don't even know where
listen,
they
my
were
wife,
Do
at.
they smoke hookah too?
my,
The big caterpillars
it's
from
hard
Alice in
to
It
find
Wonderland?
them
looked like
Okay.
it.
because
They was looking
they,
at me like, "Who are you?"
my wife said it's a damn alien on that plant. I'm not going over there by that plant. It's a whole alien on that plant. That thing looking crazy. I said, what the hell is that? I just cut the whole branch off. Click. What the hell? I made me some pepper sprouts. I was growing some jalapenos, so and it was real
Yeah.
small. So I cut them jalapenos up and I threw them in some water and I put a drop of dish soap in there and I shook that sucker up, burnt my fingers.
Yeah, you did
I started
good.
spraying, going to work on them jokers. I
You
said, I
did
got something
good.
for you. I got something for you. But yeah, that's the trick. If anybody don't know, cut up some jalapenos, put it in the spray bottle with water, and a drop of dish soap so it stick, and then get the spraying. They'll get up out of there.
Hey, greetings, Terry Bay. Glad you made it.
Peace, peace. I finally got a chance to sit down, man. I've been ripping and running, trying to stay in the chat and listen in. How everybody doing? That's right.
Oh, don't worry. You getting ready for that? You getting ready for that committee life? Don't worry. They got plans for you too.
Oh, I already know y'all about to put me to work, bro. I try to lay back and do my little thing in the background, bro.
How long was it? It's been a year now. Nah, no more of that. Yeah, his feet kicked all the way up for a year. No, you've been working though. You've been doing your thing. You've been doing your thing.
But hey, so
I've been
I do
busy,
have
though.
one.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad that everybody is here because I said something. I ran something past Doodoo. I said I had a plan. I never got into it, but I would like to sit down with everybody on the backside of things and present my plan that I've been working on.
Okay.
Oh,
You know that's why this panel open. Yes, sir.
I mean, I told y'all a long time ago that I was working on something dealing with the cryptos, but I kind of expanded that vision because cryptocurrency kind of expanded and gave out a lot more opportunity. So my plan has evolved, and I think y'all gonna like where I'm going with this when y'all hear it.
No problem.
I'm kind of lockstep. But it's a way to get where we want to be at faster than we think we need to wait. Right now is the perfect time because we in a bull run, and this bull run gonna last for about a year and a half. So it's a lot of money on the table, and it's not hard to get it. It's like almost they give it.
You better know.
I'm saying it's not. It is not no. It ain't connected to no government or none of that, and you ain't got to give up nothing. Like it's weird how this whole thing is playing out, but it's basically what it is regular people is really changing the world system. Because a lot of people don't realize it, but a lot of the changes that are happening because of cryptocurrency. It's affecting governments, how governments operate. They can't compete. They can't shut it down. They can't ban it. What are we going to do? So you know the old saying, if you can't beat them, join them.
Join them. That's it.
And that's what's going on.
Sojourn them.
And I got
Jackie Journham
an inside line to some people that's running some of these platforms and that code for some of these platforms. Cause I'm getting ready. They gave my son a free scholarship to learn how to code. That's the future. Data is the future. Yeah. So, I mean, if y'all got kids and they like computers, please get them into coding. Get them into coding. If you get them into coding, you're putting them at the head of the table. Because everything is going to be revolving around those. The people who write code are going to be the most important people in the next 2 to 3 years. They are hiring people with no college graduation. If you know how to code, they will hire you and pay you a ridiculous salary. It's crazy. It's literally mind-boggling. Once you understand how simple a lot of this stuff is, it's mind-boggling. And we missing out on all that money.
Mainly application, applying yourself.
Yep. Because everything, like, I be trying to tell people about cryptocurrency. First thing they say is, I don't understand. It's a scam. It's that. No, you dealing with it now. You got a debit card? All right, well, that's crypto. Same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't really understand what it is.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Exactly. And so it's not nothing new. It's just that the difference between that and this is that they can control, this they can't. And that's what Obama said in his speech. People going to be walking around with banks in their pocket. That's what he was saying. I got a bank in my pocket right now. I'm the bank. My money ain't in no.
As sure as you got a card in your pocket.
Yeah. But the thing is, they can shut that card off. They can't shut this off. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they can't shut this off. You can't dock me, garnish me. You can't do nothing to me. As far as this money is concerned, there's nothing you can do about it. That's the ultimate security. Because if you got your money in the bank, like I was telling you, they're looking at doing bail-ins. They're looking at starting this process, depending on how this economy shakes. If it get any worse, they're going to be looking at instituting bail-ins. And people in Europe want to sleep one night with $1,000 in their bank account. They woke up the next morning and had $600.
Well, the infrastructure for the bail-in is already here. That was signed into law back in 2009.
Yeah, but they didn't implement it yet. They're looking at implementing it now.
No, the infrastructure for it. So all they need is a situation that allows them to pull the trigger on it, like you say, and that's it. Yeah, because the depositors, right? The depositors are the investors. And see, like we know what that term bail-in means, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people didn't have that broken down for them, kind of the way we did, where the way they set it up in the language during the Obama administration was the depositors are the people that are seen as the stakeholders, and the stakeholders are the ones that are holding up the capital for the institution. So basically they said, all right, okay, no bank is too big to fail, but the depositors are going to be the ones that have to pay first to keep this bank solvent if they do, or to cover the bank's losses. And those are the people, the account holders. That's you and I. That's the people that actually have money in these accounts. And you're right. Like they'll go to, people go to bed one day with $1,000 and wake up with 600. Theoretically, in that case, and here's the other thing too. And I think you mentioned this as well. What they're doing with the interest rates. They're not negative here like they are in Japan, but they're low enough to where not only can you not make money by keeping your money in the bank over time, but if it goes negative, the bank's actually taking your money by it sitting in there.
Yeah.
What have they been showing us? What have they been showing us recently? They've been showing us this coin shortage. You go to most stores, they don't want you to use cash. They want you to use a debit card. They don't have coins. Right?
They're pushing you to it already.
You condition. Exactly. This is the conditioning phase. But this is the best thing. I'm telling you, this is the best thing that could ever happen to the world's community right now. Because if people really, the reason why we as a people can't really move forward is not that we're scared to fight, it's that we don't know how to fight. And we seem to believe that everything has to be about violence or, taking something back. You don't have to do that. You can bend people to your will. You see what I'm saying? And that's kind of what the people in this crypto community at the beginning stages, that was the plan from the beginning. When I read Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, this is what he's saying. You have to take the power away from them. You don't have to do it with guns. We have a better way of doing it, without sharing any blood, because we don't want that. There ain't no need for that. We just gonna put you in your place, because you're the creation and we're the creators. But somehow our roles have been reversed. So now the creators controlling the creation is now controlling the creators. And that's why we're having all of these problems. Because they're not, like, my wife get mad about the things that government is doing. And I keep you got to remember, this is a corporation, and they're going to act as a corporation. They're moving as a corporation. Their whole moral system is that of a corporation. So they don't care about, like now, take now, for instance, with the unemployment extension. They don't care about you not having to pay your rent and your bills. They just want to make sure they get what they set out to get in these negotiations. That's a corporate mindset. Morals ain't got nothing to do with it. You got to understand your enemy and how your enemy's fighting you in order for you to defend yourself, and then turn around and go on the offense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. You can't do that bickering back and forth arguing about trivial crap that don't make no sense.
That can't change nobody's life, and you can't never apply it to put food on the plate or make anything better right now.
Because we forget that we dealing with criminals. They don't care about none of that stuff. They break every law. We're using illegal tender. Do y'all get that? We're using illegal tender. And it's passed off illegal. We're dealing with criminals who don't respect their own laws, or what they want people to perceive as their own laws. But I don't want to get too deep into that, because you know how we could go with that one. That could be a whole lesson. But this is what they doing. You're dealing with criminals, and you got to understand what you're dealing with. You dealing with one of the biggest criminals sitting there right now. He's a criminal. A little bit right, a little bit wrong, just like a criminal. Just like somebody that's out in the street right now that you looking at sideways because they looking crazy like they get ready to stick you up or something. You feel me? That's what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if the panel got nothing else to put into it, we can go ahead and call it a night. Feel good to get the rust off by the time we get back to business as usual. I mean, any closing remarks so we can go ahead and get out of here?
Questions, comments, concerns, and or corrections, please email us at autonomousassembly@gmail.com. That's it.
Mic check, 1 2.
1 2 1 2.
I just wanted to say one thing before we get out here. I appreciate the bill being positive and drama-free and just peaceful. Felt like nothing but progress.
Was you changing some brakes, Kerry?
Am I changing some brake notes? I did in the kitchen. And I'm printing out some paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Some business paperwork. You know? Real work get done. You know?
Right.
Some real paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some real paperwork. Some paperwork that work. You know? But yeah, I just appreciate the bill, man. I know the community missed y'all with y'all lives. And yeah, until next time, man. Peace, everybody. Keep up the good work. And man, can't wait till no grandma killer talk. Peace.
All right.
No Grandma Killers Tour Texas. September. What is that? Labor Day weekend? Labor Day weekend.
You know it. What you got? Who next? All right, everybody said what they had to say. So I guess on that note, again, the purpose of this was really to start a conversation for like-minded individuals so we can start getting together and moving forward. Enough of the same old, going back and forth, yelling and screaming, because that ain't going to fix nothing. Let's start taking the things that we know that work, taking the things that we know that we can reproduce in multiple communities and move forward. Let's stop allowing others to make decisions on what's best for us or what's perceived was best for us, then complain when we didn't even try to do it for ourselves. Again, since the first No Grandma Killer store, 30 new American Indian businesses. That's a start. That's a collection of businessmen and women that together we have leverage with. So again, let's take this opportunity and put our best foot forward. And remember, the No Grandma Killers Tour Texas is right around the corner. We'll be bringing more information on programs and ways that you can become self-sufficient and help rebuild your community. Much respect to all the parties that came together to make it possible. Until then, peace.
Peace. Good night, y'all.
Rest easy, everyone. I do have a quote. I got a quote.
You should have been said that. You supposed to go first anyway.
I tried to get to the mute button.
Excuse me, you can't do that. You can't leave without me giving a quote.
Excuse me, Bones. Is it okay? Excuse
me. Go ahead.
You got the flow.
You've got to get up every rising with determination if you're going to go to bed with satisfaction. Rest easy, everyone.
Ooh, ooh.